Welcome back everyone. So today's video is going to be a bit more different from the previous ones. Today I'm not going to do a reaction. I'm going to talk about this webtoon called The Ember Knight. I just recently found out that the new season started, so I decided to talk about it because it's a fire ass manhwa. I mean, well, webtoon. It's really underrated. I haven't really seen anyone talk about it. I even searched it up in YouTube and only one or two people talked about it. And I feel like that's doing this series an injustice, you know? It's really good. So basically in this world, the theme is knights, like how in Naruto is everyone wants to become a ninja or Hokage. That's the goal. And in here, the goal is to become a knight. And in this story, the premise is that we have our main character Nagyun, this guy over here who's getting picked on. He's the weakest, well, one of the weakest, and his brother who's the strongest, and they look exactly identical except for the fact that his brother has a ponytail, and Nagyun, which our main character, that's his name, just has longer hair. His brother, twin brother, Najin, that's his brother's name. He's a prodigy, everyone knows about him. He's the talk of the town. They even have magazines about him, which you can see later on. I'll show you. And as you can see, he's getting shit on over here. It's kind of disrespectful. Well, not kind of, it's really disrespectful. They even spit on his hair. And you get to find out that the reason they're acting like that towards him is because apparently he burned down the village. But you find out that that's not really, that's the tip of the iceberg. It's not the full truth. You later on learn what's under the iceberg, you know? And it becomes really interesting. I don't really want to spoil it, but I'm just gonna be talking about the first few chapters. As you can see here, the Najin, his brother, is on the magazine. That's how famous he is, because he's really talented, and it's talked about that he'll become a really strong knight. As you can see, when he's trying to purchase, every member or person in the town hella hates this person, hates our main character. They're even throwing magazines, spitting on his face and shit. Yeah, look at him. They're ungrateful brat. But our main character, Nagyun, he controls his emotions. That's his main point. He tries to control his emotions so people pick on him less, because if he just starts to cry and whatnot, then he's just gonna draw more attention towards himself. That's basically his strong point. As you can see, he's ignoring him. He's whatever. As later on, you can see over here, he's happy for his brother. You might, first of all, when I first started reading this, I thought that maybe Nagyun was jealous of his brother Najin because he's talented and respected while he's not. So this was gonna be a story about him killing his brother and whatnot, but it's really not. It's not what it seems like. So over here in this interaction, his employer is paying him half, but goes down all the way to 1/4 when Nagyun explains himself. The reason he was late, which is why the employer is complaining, is because he was getting picked on, and everyone in the village knows that, even the employer, but he doesn't give a shit because he doesn't like him either. So he's keep making more excuses, and the less I'll pay you, because I'm the only one who's willing to hire you in this village. And Nagyun accepts that. As you can see, he's trembling in anger and annoyance. Look, literally everywhere he goes, he gets picked on, which is fucked up, you know? Yeah, and here you see in this village, I'm no more than a criminal who burned down the village, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. You guys learn the truth later on. As you can see, damn, really famous over here. Look at that whole ass biography over here. Okay, soon, yeah, we later meet his brother over here, Najin. They basically look like a copy and paste of each other. He just has a ponytail. Yeah, he's a hero who's respected in the village because he saved people during the burning of the village. And this is one of his classmates. Alright, so let's move later on. Okay, yeah. Later on in the story, these people pop up. They're the antagonist. Well, one of the antagonists. And these masked people, they're after Najin. And even I, who finished the whole entire first season, barely know why they're after Najin. I really don't get it. We haven't gotten much of a explanation yet. So I guess we'll find that out more later on during the second season. And oh my god, the first season ended it's such a cliffhanger, man. It was fucking fire, but that's beside the point. Okay, over here, as you can see, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. Is it 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's 5 people. And let's see. Yeah, this guy, he's the main leader, as you can see from his carved like face mask. He has like 3 diamonds. Everyone has like 2 over here, and this one has a dot. So he's the leader. They're after Na-jin because apparently he has something, and he didn't fulfill their promise, the deal they had between them. And they go after Na-jin and whoever's next to him, which is his brother Na-gyun. But Na-jin manages to stop them. But the problem is that they like corner Na-jin, and Na-jin is forced to go inside his house, because if he doesn't, then they'll start attacking Na-gyun. And he's put at a disadvantage because in his house it's like a tiny ass corner and there's 5 people against 1. But Na-jin still miraculously somehow manages to fight off all of them, and he could have wiped the floor with them if they didn't play dirty-handed, you know. And after they realized that they weren't going anywhere with Na-jin, they started aiming towards his brother Na-gyun. And right before they could strike his brother, Na-jin noticed that and he sacrificed himself trying to save his brother. So let's go on to the later chapter. Okay, chapter 4. I don't want to spoil the other one. There you go. Okay, let's see. I think it was here. See, Na-jin. Yeah. Okay, so his family dies, and they set his only family was his brother anyway, but they set the house on fire and they leave, and Na-gyun is left standing there as he thinks about the past of how he was protecting his brother. And just so you guys know, he's like portrayed as like a he's portrayed as like a weak ass character, but he's like very, very smart. Not saying that his brother Na-jin isn't smart, but that's what he's portrayed as so far. And Na-jin is portrayed as like a very strong, like capable future knight, and he's portrayed as like a weak piece of shit, but he's like very smart. So right at the moment when they leave, as he's grieving and thinking about the past where he was like saving his brother, basically in the past he was like pretty strong, like, and his brother Na-jin was the weak one. But suddenly something's happened, and then you guys realize how and why. It's a pretty in-depth story. But let's move on. Family after all, so he tries to get revenge on them, and the way he does that is genius. He basically like cuts off his hair and makes him look like Na-jin. He basically copies everything, his demeanor, his appearance, his speeches, down to the T. So as you can see, this is Na-jin, but he just copied him, his outfit and everything. He even gets the sword. And what makes this interesting is he has to go to school, because that's where Na-jin goes. Na-jin goes to school, to like the night academy or whatnot, and that's where they become knights. But Na-gyun over here, he's weak as shit, so he can't really do much at the night academy. If he goes there and he fights, well, he's gonna get knocked out in like 1 hit. So you basically get to see this adventure of him trying to pass through these obstacles, and every interaction he goes with people, he has to think whether Na-jin interacted with these people and how he would talk towards them. But his disguise is really well, and barely anyone notices him until at one point his teacher noticed this, and he's like, I know you are Na-gyun, you're trying your best, but remember that you're Na-gyun and you're not Na-jin. And then she leaves after that. Over here, she explains that and whatnot. But Na-gyun over here, he's like very worried. He's like, holy shit, someone already caught on. How? Bro, what did I do wrong? But she's not a threat, and he thinks that she could possibly be connected to the intruders over here who killed his brother. But they're not. So let's move on to the chapter over here. I don't really want to spoil too much. Episode 5. Okay, over here. Yeah, she basically tries to comfort Na-gyun. No one knows this though, just so you know. They all think that Na-gyun was the one that died, because because our boy Na-gyun over here spread like false rumors or whatnot, and everyone thinks that Na-gyun is dead and Na-jin is alive. But it's basically the opposite. And here's his teammates. So in this point, they're given a test, and the test is to defeat a knight over here. Let's see. Let's go down. Yeah, defeat this knight. Well, that's basically the premise, is to defeat her, but they don't. Well, I don't want to explain it too much, but you'll find out if you read it. So everyone over here, they try to go against her, like fight her, like head on. It doesn't work out. They get the ass beat in like 2 seconds, alright? But the fucked up part is, while everyone's getting the ass beat trying to fight her and find her weakness, Na-jin, aka Na-gyun, is standing in the corner over there just watching everyone getting handled, like down to the floor. And everyone, especially the teacher, thinks that, well, except for this black-haired boy who's concerned about Na-jin because he lost his brother and whatnot, and he's like the only concerning one over here. He like cares about him. But besides that, everyone else shits on Na-jin for not helping them. They're like, you're the strongest one here, what the fuck are you doing? Help us. But Na-gyun, obviously he can't do anything, because if he goes up close and tries to throw a punch, he's gonna get knocked down to the floor. And that's gonna be very suspicious, because the teachers and everyone knows that like Na-jin is like the talk of the town. He's like the strongest one. So he tries to come up with ways of how he can defeat her. He tries to come up with plans, and that's the shining like light of this webtoon. It's how Na-gyun tries to come up with a plan of how he'll go through these obstacles even though he's weak. And he tries to become stronger, but it's more about of how he uses his brain to get out of these situations, and it's really fucking amazing. You guys should definitely check it out. I'll leave the link in the description. And yeah, that's pretty much it from me. So see you guys next time. Peace.